Marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, it is about the stories that you tell. Brands are competing not just for your market share but also the mind share. This is an industry where experience matters a lot.
Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of I'm Unplugged, brought to you by Student Alumni Committee of AM Rohtak. We are delighted to have R. Harikrishna, alumni of AM Rohtak from PGP 13, as a guest speaker today. He is currently working in Reliance Retail as a management trainee. Thank you so much, Hari, for joining us today. Let's dive into our conversation.
I was part of the PGP 13 batch, and currently I am part of the YLP program at Reliance Retail, and I've joined the RCPL business unit. So RCPL is actually Reliance Consumer Products Limited. So it is sort of the FMCG wing for Reliance Retail, and currently working as a brand manager for the snacking portfolio of RCPL. So at first when we were placed, I had got my PPO from Reliance Retail, so I was not aware that I would be part of RCPL while I got my offer. So I was under the impression of I'll be joining a retail sector as the usual SBUs under Reliance Retail. But I was quite shocked to get exposure to the FMCG sector through this job, and I'm very grateful for that because while I was doing my MBA, also I was very passionate about the FMCG sector. It is a sector that actually makes you curious because the real business happens there, in my opinion, and it is a very tricky sector to crack, especially in India, where there's a lot of regional market, there's a lot of local players. So uh, right away, I was part of RCPL, and RCPL is actually a new brand. So we're just like, I'd say, 2.5 years old brand. So it is a very different system because when you think of Reliance, the perception that you get is it's an age-old company. There is already set processes, set systems. But in a way, RCPL has offered me the best of both worlds. So I am working in a startup which has an umbrella of a strong, secure brand. So what work happens like startup sab बैठते we sit and think everything is every day is a new challenge for us. We're creating a new brand. Nobody knows of our brand. So we are in that situation, and then at the same time we have access to India's largest, not even India's, I'd say world's one of the world's largest retail networks. So the amount of data that we have access to, the kind of information that we are getting access to, it is a huge advantage for our organization. So talking about the FMCG sector in India, as I said, it is a very tricky industry to crack into because there are a lot of brands trying, and it is, I'd say, around 17, 18 lakh crores is the market size for FMCG category, and it is set to at least be five times by 2030. So that is the pace at which it is growing. It is a very dynamic industry. You see new products coming up every single day. Like like for example, if you just go to Shark Tank, there's new snacking brand coming up every season, and there are a lot of ways. There's a lot of channels. You don't even have to have retail presence. You can be a D2C brand through e-commerce. So you have to compete against all these lot of players. So it is a very tricky industry, and I'd say, it is an industry where brands are competing not just for your market share but also the mind share. Because when people think of a brand, that is when they think of, yeah, I'll buy that. So I'd say this is a quote by Seth Godin that has moved me very much. That is that marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, it is about the stories that you tell.
Yeah,
So yeah, storytelling is a huge aspect of something that I'd say storytelling is the key skill that you need during MBA, because even if it's for your final placements or be it anywhere you work, if you are able to structure your thoughts, give it a good backing, and present it as a story, people would actually connect with you and they'll pay more attention to what you're saying. So I'll just quote something from my domain to give an example. So there was this campaign by Haldiram. So I work in the snacking sector, so that is why I'm quoting Haldiram for this one. So the campaign that they had, it was all centered around Pyar Ka Naam Haldiram. They never mentioned ki India's best snack, India's most selling snacks. They never mentioned the product. It was all about the story. When you think of Haldiram, you think of festivities, the connections, and all that, and they tapped right into it. It was such a beautiful campaign. प्यार का नाम हल्दीराम. That jingle to it, that it stays in your mind. वही माइंड शेयर वाली बात आ गई. And from a fresher's perspective, I'd say while starting my MBA, as everyone thinks, when you think about marketing, you go towards advertising. What is marketing? It is ads. It's what you see on the billboards. It's people trying to convince you to buy the product. It is something that is accompanying sales. So once you do your MBA, you'll get a fair understanding of what marketing is like. From at least compared to a layman who just observes the advertising. You hear about new product introductions, product ideations, etc. But still, once you enter marketing space or when you start working, that is when you it actually hits you in the face. Market advertising is a very minimal, very small part of marketing. So if I have to sum up marketing, marketing is identifying the consumer's need and creating value to that customer in a way that that customer eventually becomes a loyal advocate for your product or your brand. So it starts right from that identifying the consumer's needs. So you have to go to the market, GT में जाना पड़ेगा, not just that retail stores that you go. General trade में जाना पड़ेगा where the actual business is happening. Because organized retail is a very small contributor towards FMCG. The actual धंधा तो वही GT में ही हो रहा है. And it is a small pack, the rupees 5 packs. I'm quoting for namkeens. I'm not saying for all industries, but for at least snacks, it is a heavily skewed industry towards smaller packs, rupees 5 packs, GT mein. So you'll have to go there. You'll have to understand what is happening. Then that inputs help you while you create new products. So and effectively you're trying to create value. And I'd say communication to the customers happen from packaging itself. Attractive packaging, communicating through the packaging. वो advertising वाले point तक पहुंचने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. If you are able to crack it in terms of your packaging. And as far as my role is concerned, for a brand manager or a brand team is concerned, I would like to sum it up in a short way कि काम तो बहुत कुछ करते हैं, from product ideation to daily engaging with the cross-functional team of our at least 8 to 9 participants. Like we have manufacturing teams, we have planning teams, sourcing teams, sales teams, regulatory, product development, packaging development. So there are a numerous lot of stakeholders that is associated, finance, so legal, regulatory. There are a lot of stakeholders. But if I have to sum it up in one crisp statement, I would say uh, brand marketing or a brand manager is sort of a custodian for that brand. So in a way, you're technically a CEO of that brand, I'd say. Ki whenever something goes wrong in that brand, the first finger will come right at you. Ki what is happening? So you'll have to be keen on and understand everything that is happening in your brand. Be it finance, something from finance, value chain में कुछ issue हो रहा है, margins कम हो रहा है, or be it from a manufacturing standpoint कि there's something wrong at the factories and why is production not happening. So you'll have to have a good idea of what all these teams are doing. You'll have to be a bit empathetic to understand what they are going through. At the same time, you'll have to have a bit of understanding about what is happening in these all sectors so that you have a thorough understanding of how your brand functions. So that has been my experience, and right out of college, coming into this role. So for me, it was a bit different because usually, at least from what happened to the other people from my cadre was they were all put into teams that they had to. I mean, I'd say roles had to be created for them. And in my case, what happened was actually a person was leaving the organization, so I just got. handover and right into that role. So I had to run straight from the start, and I'd say that experience also was really good because I had to quickly understand what is happening, how I can contribute myself, and from day one, it has been an exciting journey. Why every day is a new challenge.
So, like, we wanted to know, like, any advice would you like to give to freshers to navigate the steep learning curve in the FMCG sector, and like, especially when they're transitioning from like academic projects to then the actual industry?
So basically, one thing about FMCG is everybody knows FMCG. We all are a consumer. We all go to shops. We all have our own opinions about the industry at least. So I'd say uh, come at it with a fresh mind. Do have your opinions to yourself, and most of the time it helps you also. But if you are joining the industry, uh, come with an open mind. And this is an industry where experience matters a lot, I'd say. So whenever someone who has more experience than you is speaking something, just listen to them. Suno, samjho, because the interaction that I've had with salespeople who has experience of 15, 20 years, that has helped me a lot. The deep insights, deep customer centric insights that they have, because they engage with customers on a regular basis. They engage with dealers, wholesalers. So minute inputs that come from their end is also something that could maybe create a big difference for your brand. So be open to such inputs. As far as from an MBA or an academic perspective, what you can do is read about marketing, read about brand marketing. Uh, I'd say listen to podcasts regarding this, and it is always good to have an understanding about the industry also, what is happening in specific industry, because a lot of people are passionate about FMCG industry. And some are into maybe personal care. Some people have even thought about what specific industry they want to join. So listen to ad campaigns, what is happening, what is the sort of communication that is happening. It is really helpful. Yeah, it is really helpful as well. It is really interesting. And there's also this other thing about what they say about brands. So now we are at a stage where your brand is not what you say to the consumer. It is what the consumer talk about the brand in between them. So to probably, if I could use an example, it is not from an FMCG sector. It is from an automobile sector, I'd say. So when Tata started Tata Nano, uh, the sort of communication initially was India's cheapest car, but then they pushed it towards uh, Har Ghar Ka Dusra Car, the second car of every house. But it was not what the consumers perceived the product to be. They were like, "This is cheap car." The whole concept about cars in India was that I want to. Uh, it is I'd say like a status symbol. I want to improve the current situation that I am, or the current stage that I am in. And Tata Nano was not aiding that. So even though what the brand perceived it to be, that is not how the consumers perceived it at their end. So this product idea dissonance uh, should not happen, and that is key, especially from a marketing or a brand perspective. So reading actual cases like this, it all broadens your perspective about this sector. So that is one thing that we could do as MBA students, or uh, from academic projects perspective, to ease our way into this industry.
Thank you so much for this insightful discussion. And now, as we are reaching towards the end of our podcast, I would like to thank our guest, Mr. Harikrishnan, for taking out time from his busy schedule and joining us today. Thank you so much, sir.
So thank you guys.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. So please like, subscribe, and please comment your favorite part in the comment box. Thank you, sir.